Ever been in a room where everyone's brain works a little more like yours? For a lot of autistic people, that kind of room is very rare. In this video, I want to show you what autistic social gatherings actually feel like and why they can be so different from typical social events. Today, we are going to walk through 5 autistic traits that often show up in social gatherings, plus one bonus trait that I really love. By the end, you will have a clearer picture of what these spaces are like, and maybe feel a bit less nervous about trying one yourself. For many autistic people, ordinary social events are exhausting. You walk into a room and immediately start scanning for the rules. How are people dressed? What are they laughing at? Where is it safe to stand or sit? You spend more energy trying to act normal than actually connecting with anyone. And if you are still wondering whether you are autistic, that experience can make you doubt yourself even more. It is hard to explain an autistic social gathering if you have never felt one. So let us break it down into 5 traits I see again and again. Trait number 1, we tend to skip the fluff. Most of us do not enjoy long stretches of shallow small talk. In autistic spaces, people often move quite quickly into real topics. You might sit down, say hello, and 5 minutes later be talking about burnout, masking at work, or how you finally got diagnosed at 40. That does not mean we never talk about light things. We still joke, we still talk about the weather or our favorite shows. The difference is that those conversations usually have a purpose. There is curiosity, shared information, or genuine enthusiasm, instead of just filling silence. For many autistic people, that is such a relief. You do not have to pretend to care about things you do not care about. You get to be honest, and people actually want to hear the real answer. Trait number 2, there is no single normal. In a lot of social spaces, there is an unspoken culture you are expected to copy. Everyone seems to know the dress code, the volume level, the right way to stand and smile. In autistic gatherings, that pressure is usually much lower. You will see people dressed in very different ways. Some make eye contact, some do not. Some are chatty, some mostly listen. Someone might sit on the floor with a blanket. Another person might stand and pace. Someone else might have a fidget toy or noise-canceling headphones. Because lots of us are doing things that would be considered odd somewhere else, none of us is the odd one out. That can feel strange at first, especially if you are used to watching everyone else and copying the script. But when that script disappears, there is space to ask a different question. Not, what am I supposed to be here? But who do I actually want to be here? Trait number 3, the mix of talkers and watchers. In almost every group, there are people who arrive buzzing with energy. They start conversations, tell stories, and fill the silence. There are also people who barely speak for the first hour. They sit back, observe, and feel out the space. Sometimes near the end of the event, that quiet person suddenly joins in, and you discover they have a lot to say. Many autistic people need time to warm up, especially in bigger groups. One-on-one, they might be very talkative. In a circle of 10 people, they may prefer to listen. In autistic spaces, that is not a problem to fix. It is just one of the ways people participate. Trait number 4, our conversations wander in wonderful ways. Autistic brains are great at spotting patterns and unusual connections. So a chat that starts with "nice socks" can turn into a deep dive on textile textures, then sensory sensitivities, then historical clothing, then train schedules or space travel. To a neurotypical listener, that might feel random. In an autistic group, people often follow along and genuinely enjoy the jump. You do not have to hide your so-called weird interests. If you have been waiting your whole life for someone to appreciate your rock collection, your favorite game, or your very specific hobby, This might be where it finally happens. Trait number 5, flexible energy and pace. In many social settings, you are expected to stay on the whole time. At autistic gatherings, it is usually normal to take breaks. People might step outside for some fresh air, scroll on their phone for 10 minutes, or simply zone out with a fidget. Then they come back when they are ready. You are not rude for pacing yourself. You are regulating your nervous system, and people understand that. And if you arrive with lots of energy, that is okay too. Bring your enthusiasm. Bring your info dumps. If you run out of energy, you are allowed to refuel instead of forcing yourself to keep up. There is also a bonus trait that I really love. Social anxiety is normal and openly acknowledged. It is very common for someone to introduce themselves with, "Hi, I am really nervous to be here. I might not say much." And the group response is usually, "Totally fine. We are glad you made it." Lots of us feel anxious in social spaces. In autistic gatherings, you do not have to pretend you are not. Just naming it out loud can take a lot of pressure off. I still remember my first autistic social gathering. At first, it felt strange because I was waiting for the usual rules to appear. Who am I supposed to copy? What is the right way to sit or speak here? And then at some point, I realized no one was watching me like that. People were just being themselves, and I was allowed to do the same. For the first time, I was not the odd one out. Because everyone was different in their own way, all of us belonged. That moment completely changed my understanding of autism and of myself. So, where do you actually find spaces like this? Look for autistic-led or neurodiversity-friendly groups in your local area. They might meet in community centers, cafes, libraries, or online. You can search for terms like autistic social group, neurodivergent meetup, or autistic adult peer support and see what comes up near you. If in-person feels too intense, many people start online through forums, chat servers, or video calls. You are allowed to try a group, decide it is not for you, and leave. You are also allowed to stay quiet the first time. Showing up is enough. If you have already been to an autistic social gathering, what surprised you the most? If you have not, what would help you feel safe enough to try? Share your answer in the comments, because your story might be the mirror someone else really needs today. And if you want more videos exploring the human side of autism, you are very welcome to stick around and watch another one after this.